Yeah, sir, we are live. Okay, let me wait, sir, for some students to join, then we will start with the session.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, sir, students have joined. So, very good evening, everyone. I hope you all are doing fine. I am Daksh Jain, a chairperson of Geeks for Geeks Society of Bennett University. Today with me, I have a very special guest, Mr. Shashi Bhushan Kumar Sir. He's a pass out from MNIT Allahabad, and he is currently working as a tech lead and mentor at Geeks for Geeks, and he has also been ex-Adobe and ex-Paytm employee. So over to you, sir.
Yeah. Hi everyone. So in this webinar, we'll talk about like how you can crack the interviews of these top companies like Amazon, Microsoft, Adobe, and like what you should do so that you can get easily, you can crack the interviews, and then you can like how to prepare things from scratch and how to let's say build resume, how to build projects. So we'll talk about everything in this webinar.
Okay, sir. So, sir, I will start with a very basic question. Sir, how was your experience at Paytm?
Okay, so when I was in college, I was in so I, so in August 15, the Paytm visited our campus for the on-campus placement, right? And I was able to get the job for the full-time employee through the on-campus placement itself. And I joined Paytm in June 16. So I was there for 1 year. I left Paytm for Adobe in June 17. So it was approximately 1 year, and I was part of
Okay.
Paytm payments team, which is I was in Paytm wallet team, which is a part of Paytm payments team, and I was mainly in backend. So my role was to write APIs for the backend using Java, Spring, and Spring Boot. Apart from that, I worked on some frontend as well using some JavaScript, JSP, and other things.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
so it's good because Paytm was a startup, and Paytm was growing at a really good speed. So I
Yeah,
was
sir.
like to join the Paytm at that period. So I learned a lot of things. Right, I was fresh and I was very curious to like how things are developed in the industry and how exactly the code are written to build something like Paytm. Right, so that was a really good experience. Right, I learned a lot of things. Yeah, so the overall experience was really good.
Okay, sir. So, sir, why did you switch from Paytm to Adobe? How was your experience there?
Yeah. So the reason behind switching from Paytm to Adobe was, of course, Adobe has a bigger brand name. Like if you have a look at the valuation of Adobe, it's around 200 billion. Uh,
Yeah, sir.
uh, on the other hand, the valuation of Paytm is around, let's say, 12, or I would say 15 or 20 billion dollar. So that's the difference. Like the Adobe is much bigger company than the Paytm. So it was bigger brand name. Apart from that, like Adobe pays really good, it pays better than
Yeah, sir.
Paytm. So that was another reason. And yeah, so these are the like main reasons to switching from Paytm to Adobe. And
Yeah,
Adobe
sir.
was also a great company. So I really enjoyed. So I was there for 2 years. I was there at Adobe for 2 years from June 17 to June 19. So yeah, so Adobe was also a great company to work with.
Okay, sir. So, sir, how did you develop a passion from teaching, from software development to teaching at Geeks for Geeks?
Okay, see, I mean, everyone needs a teacher, right? So all of us, I would say, so when I was in college or when I was preparing for J in Patna, so we used to like discuss things with our friends. So of course you will be like you. I hope everyone has done the same things. Like you might be teaching something to your friends. So
Yeah,
I
sir.
think teaching was not a new thing for me. Like when I was in college, so in my college, like there's a society called Computer Club where
Okay, sir.
seniors, juniors, the coding thing. So I was part of like that committee or the community. So I had taken some classes of DSA when I was in final year after getting job in Paytm. So yeah, so I really enjoyed teaching these things because so let's say if you're teaching something difficult, and let's say if they are able to understand that thing, uh, then I mean that feeling is really great. And when I was working with Adobe, so like GeeksforGeeks started offline classes of DSA
Yeah,
in
sir.
June 18. So Sandeep sir like started that class, the class based on DSA only in Noida itself. So, like they were looking for a part-time mentor who can take the lectures on weekends. So I was free on weekends. Like I was working on like Monday to Friday I was busy on Adobe, and on weekends I was free. So I thought that okay, let's do something new. Let's try teaching. So I joined GFG as a part-time mentor on weekends, and
Yeah.
like I was there as a part-time mentor for approximately 1 year. So I was doing teaching, uh, on weekends. I was taking lectures on DSA, and so basically I enjoyed that process. I enjoyed delivering the lectures in the classroom and
Okay,
helping the
sir.
students to learn these things easily. And then we thought like okay, let's join GFG as full time, and let's do teaching thing as the main task, I mean, as the main work. So that's why I joined GeeksforGeeks as full time employee. And currently, yes,
Okay.
currently I'm working with GeeksforGeeks only as full time employee.
Okay, sir. So, sir, let's start with the how to start with the placement preparation as being a second year or a third year.
Okay, so if I talk about myself, like how I did that, so when I was in third year, I started preparing the placement thing. So I started doing coding questions from GeeksforGeeks. Actually, at that time I was not very good coder. Like I was not uh, very I had not very good understanding of the basic DS, like how tree works, how hashing works, or how heap helps us to find minimum element in O of 1. I was not aware of all these things. Actually, we had a course of DS and Algo in our second year, but like at that time I was not very I was not aware of the importance of DS. That's why I did not study all these things, very in depth, right? But when I interned in the third year and everyone was preparing for the placement, so I came to like okay, for placements like DSA is the main thing, so we'll have to learn DSA. So I started learning, of course, to implement to solve questions on graph and trees. You might have to use some STLs, like you might have to use inbuilt queue, inbuilt stack, or other things to write code in an easier way. That's why, and then I learned the C++ STL. So yeah, so my path was I learned C++ STL, then I started learning DSA from GeeksforGeeks. I saw a lot of questions from there only. And yeah, so within 1 year, like when I started in third year and uh, till the beginning of fourth year, I was like good enough at coding. Yeah, so yeah, these things might take 1 year because you will have to learn a lot of things. Like you'll have to attend the lectures, you'll have to prepare for the assignments, you'll have to appear in the exam. So for all these things, and you need time. And apart from all those things, you need to devote some time for coding for the placement preparation. So yeah, so it might take 1 year, right? So if you're in second year or if you're in third year, so it's best time to start preparing for the interviews. And for that thing, the first thing that you should do is learn a language. It should be C++ or Java or Python. And once you're done with the, actually, yeah, we have one question like which language to use, C++, Java,
Yeah.
Python. Yeah, my personal choice will be C++ because I mean it's faster than Java and C++. It's faster than Java and Python. And second thing is its syntax is better than Java. Of course, Python is a good choice, but the issue with the Python is some companies might not allow Python for the coding round, for
Mm.
the first coding round, because a lot of things are inbuilt in Python. So yeah, so you can go with C++ or Java. but my choice will
Okay,
be
sir.
plus plus. I like so again. I mean, I was using Java in Paytm in Adobe, but I do competitive programming in C++ only. So my personal choice will be C++, but you can use Java as well. So yes,
Okay, sir.
once you're done with language, then you can start learning DS and Algo. Uh, Again, there are many resources, like you can refer a book, or you can refer some YouTube videos, or you can refer websites like Geeks. The good thing about GFJ is you can find everything, the theory, the questions of every topic at a single place. So that's why I will recommend you to study these things, DSC thing from GFG only.
Okay, sir. So we have a question on that. Why do maximum companies require data structures knowledge?
Okay. So the main reason is, of course, if you know, all the databases are based on some DS, right? If you know MySQL uses DS like trees, it uses hashing, so it uses multiple data structures. So of course, when you'll be building something in the industry, you'll be storing your data in the databases, and those databases are based on these data structures. So if you don't know like how trees work, or if you don't know how heap can help us to do something in of one, or how hashing helps us to do things in constant time, or how graph can help us to do some uh, to solve some problems for us easily. So if you don't know these things, then you will not be able to uh, use the proper data structure or proper database to store the data, right? Let's say if you have a, let's take the example of Facebook. Let's say there are 1 billion users of Facebook, so 1 billion is equal to 10 to the power 9. So let's say if you are searching a user by the username by doing the linear search in the array, so the time complexity will be big of n, right? So I mean, big of n means you will have to iterate throughout the array, and that will take. So, if I can estimate the time, so it might take 10 seconds. Let's say if your machine is doing 10 to the power 8 operations in 1 second, in that case, it can take 10 seconds. But let's say if you're using hash map or hashing to store these users, right? In that case, let's say username is the key. So in that case, you can search a user by username in constant time, right? So that will take some nanosecond or millisecond. So yeah, so that's the difference. So if you are using proper DS and proper algorithm to do something, then you can optimize. Then you can reduce the responsiveness of an application, or you can reduce the time taken by that code easily. That's why that's why you should have a good knowledge of these networks. That's why these companies ask a lot of questions on DSA.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we have one question that which language should we master if we are comfortable with every language?
Rakesh, you can go with England, right? You can go with C plus or Java. That's my personal choice.
Okay, sir. So, sir, another question, what we are having, that what skills are required for a career in software engineering that we won't be taught in the college, and how we are expected to acquire them?
I think all the subjects are in our college, like operating system, networking. So apart from DS and Algo, we should know how computer works, right? Like how what is operating system, what is paging, what is deadlock, what is the process, what is the thread, right? Then you should know how internet works, like how computer network works. What is a switch? What is a, let's say, uh, a router? What is DNS? What is IPv4, right? Then what is a database? What is a table? What is a primary key of a table, right? So you should know these things, and I think all these things are part of our syllabus. And apart from that, you should know one language. You should know OOPS. You should know like how softwares are built, which is a part of. So like you might have a subject called software engineering, in which you
Yeah.
will study like how things are built from scratch, like what is the meaning of testing, what is the meaning of designing, what is the meaning of coding, what is the meaning of maintenance. So I think every subject is there in our college. But again, in the college we are not taught things in that detail So I'm talking about DSA only. So for DSA, companies expect a lot. So like in college, we're not taught all those things in that detail. So we'll have to study the DS and Algo part from from some other websites or from other books, so that we can have that depth of knowledge of DSA, and we should know like how to apply them to do something. So yeah, so I would say syllabus is there, like every subject is there, but you should have a good understanding of all these things.
Okay, sir. So, sir, how to get started with competitive programming?
Okay, so I mean the best way could be you can simply search on YouTube. Like so on YouTube there are many videos like how to start computer programming, and you can refer any of them, because I mean for that thing I'll have to discuss everything, and that will take another 10 minutes, right? So what you can do is you can simply search on YouTube like how to start computer coding, and you will have some really good videos on YouTube, and you can refer any of them to know like okay, what is the exact step to uh, enter into the field of computer coding, and what are the websites that you should refer, what are like you should start with CodeShare or Codeforces. So all these things are described in those videos. Actually on GFG also we had a webinar on CP, so you can follow that webinar.
Okay, sir. So, sir, is a project necessary for product-based company or only data structures will do?
Okay, so yeah, project is necessary. Like you should have something to write in the resume. It can be a small thing, right? Like let's say you can build something in C++, you can build something in Java, but there should be something. So yeah, you should have some projects.
Okay, sir. So, sir, how to crack a product-based company off campus as a fresher? Because mostly companies do not come to our college.
Okay, so okay, the one thing that you can do is you can make your profile impressive, right? So, actually, I was not well today, but I since I'm taking these small breaks. Okay, so
Yeah,
the
sir,
first
no problem.
yeah the first thing that you can do is you can make your profile impressive. Impressive means it should be an eye catcher. Like let's say if someone is going through your profile or going through your resume, uh, like they should be attracted. So the one thing that so that there are multiple things that can make your resume or profile attractive. The one thing is computer programming. Let's say if you are a 6-star coder at CodeShip, right? So that means you are a really good coder. So if you have that achievement in the resume, and that thing is a really good way of making your profile impressive. Second way is building projects. Let's say if you have done something really impressive. Let's say if you have won a hackathon, right? Or let's say if you have qualified JSON, Google Song of Code, or let's say if you
Yes,
have
sir.
many projects on GitHub, right? So all these things will help you to make your profile impressive. And once you have the impressive profile, then you can apply on LinkedIn, or you can apply, or you can ask for the referrals on LinkedIn, or you
Yeah.
can try Naukri.com or InstaHire, or there are many websites which will help you to get a job. So yeah, the first thing that you should do is make your profile impressive. Then you can uh, try to apply uh, for those openings. And yeah, so if you have really good profile, in that case you will get the calls, right? So it's not that
Okay,
tough.
sir.
Again, to describe the whole process, I have another video on YouTube on
Okay,
JPL
sir.
channel, how to crack off campus interview. So you can go through that video to know about like everything about the off campus.
Okay, sir. So Aditya is asking that how to make a good resume.
Again, I mean, you should have something to mention in the resume. So if you have, let's say, if you don't have any project, in that case, like, so it's not about writing; it's about what other skills do you have, right? So you should have something to mention in the resume. But apart from that, again, I mean, representing things are also important. So you should know how to write things in the resume. So I can share a link actually in the chat section if you can
Okay, sir. I
Uh,
will share in that chat section.
yeah, let me share that link. So on this link, you will have some points that will help you to. Sorry, let me.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so I'm sharing with you. You can share it with the
Yeah, sir.
audience. Yes, on this link you will find like okay how to make a good resume. That's a really good article about resume.
Okay, sir. And sir, how to get a referral for product-based companies?
By asking for so you will have to contact them. You'll have to contact them on LinkedIn. You can contact them. Let's say, of course, you can contact any HR or you can contact any developer who is working there. So you just have to write a good message like okay, I want to apply, you know, for this profile. I have done this thing. So you should draft your message properly, and then you can send them on LinkedIn. So that is a simple way to get a referral.
Okay, sir. So we have another question that what is the scope of an Android application developer in India?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. So the scope of everything is good because I mean this era is the era of information, right? So for information, we need software engineers and we need software engineers from different domain. So yeah, there is a good scope for backend developer and front-end developer and Android developer. So there's a demand for every developer actually, for every role. It could be security, it could be front end, it could be AIML, it could be big data. Everything is in demand.
Okay, so sir, in first year when a student goes to college, so should he start with the web development or app development or with the DSA?
Yeah, so they should again for interviews the most important thing is DSA, right? But apart from that, you should build something to know like okay how things are uh, how things are created from scratch. So
Okay, sir.
you you can choose anything. You can choose web development, or you can choose Android app, or you can choose AIML. You can choose any domain, but you should build something to reflect your skill, right? But again,
Okay.
you can't ignore the DSA thing. You should be good at DSA, but apart from DSA, you should know all these things. I mean, you should build something.
Okay, sir. So sir, which semester is best for applying internship at product-based companies?
I would say fifth semester or sixth semester is fine. So again, like normally you'll be doing your internship of at the end of third year, the summers of third year. So yeah, so when you're in second year, you can apply for the internship.
Okay, sir. So sir, do we have to cover system design also for interviews as a fresher?
So actually, system design is not properly understood by most of you. So in system design is mainly for experienced candidates. It's not for fresher. But there is one thing called object-oriented design. Like so, in those questions, you will be told to design something, to design some classes, right? Using some offspring. So you can be asked questions on object-oriented design, not on the system design. So you don't need to cover the system design thing as a
Okay,
fresher.
sir. So sir, how much does the dating matter in CodeChef and Code Forces?
These things will not matter at all to get a job, right? Or to crack the interview. These things will matter to get the interview. As I said, you should make a profile impressive so that you can get the off-campus call. Right. So to get the off-campus interview calls, I mean, these things will help you. But to crack the interviews, this thing will not help you at all. Because again, like because you can have a good rating with the help of your friends. So these
Yeah,
ratings
sir.
will not have that significance.
Okay, sir. So sir, Aditya has one more question that should we one focus on building application or work on concepts of cryptography, ethical hacking, and all?
You can build anything, right? So it should be it should depend on your choice. So if you think that okay, building application is cool, then you can build some application. So it should depend on your choice.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we do have another question also. Are projects sufficient or competitive coding is mandatory?
DSA is important. Like DSA is mandatory, so you should know how to solve coding questions. So that is important. Without that, you can't get a job. So projects is important, but a DSA is much more important than the projects.
Okay, sir. So, sir, how to grab an internship at Geeks for Geeks?
So you can go to our career page of GeeksforGeeks, and then you can see the job description. Then you can apply.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we do have one more question. What should be the level of project which we should apply in the resume?
Anything, right? Anything, any level. So let's say if you are building a small thing using C++, that is also fine, right? So you should build something. I think level is not important.
Okay, sir. So, sir, how to tackle HR round during placements?
You can simply go through some of the common questions of HR, like what is your weakness, what is your strength, where do you self, where do you see yourself after 5 years. So these are the very common questions. So
Okay,
you can
sir.
these questions and crack those rounds.
Is Java slowly dying?
No, 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 actually. So a lot of companies are using Java and things are being built in Java. So I don't think Java is dying. Actually, a lot of new languages are being created. Like Kotlin is there, then Go is there. Like Go is really a good language, but I don't think the Java will be replaceable by these new languages.
Hmm. So, sir, student has a question that can Python be used for DSL or should we focus on only CPP or Java?
Again, as I said, like some companies might not allow Python for the online coding round. So yeah, so in that case, Python might not be that helpful. Otherwise, like a lot, I would say most of the companies will allow you to code in Python as well, but some companies might not allow you to code in Python. So for to be on safe side, you can go with C++ or Java.
Okay, sir. So, sir, what's the scope of Julia?
I don't know like what is Julian, how it works, and what is
Yeah,
the
sir.
scope. I can say.
Yeah, sir. So, so what kind of role does Geeks or Geeks offer for part-time or full-time?
Yeah, so you can explore all these things on our career page. So on the career page, you will have the part-time and full-time job description. Like, okay, this is the role, this is the responsibility of that role. So all these things are there. So you can refer that career page.
So, sir, should be one active on LinkedIn or not? How to make a good LinkedIn profile?
Hmm. Yeah, you should be active on LinkedIn because again, LinkedIn will help you to get the job through off campus. Uh, yeah, so it's similar to making a good resume. So you should have, the first thing that you should have is you should have a good content to write. Like you should have, if you have done something good, in that case you can write those things. So yes, the first thing that you should focus on learning new things. You should focus on uh, doing something so that you can have some achievements to mention in the resume or mention the on the LinkedIn, right? Yeah, so learning should be your focus, and after that you should have some achievements.
Okay, sir. So, Reet has a question that is it preferred to build a large project or should we make small projects every semester?
As I said, like the level or the size of project is not important, right? So mainly you will be asked questions on DSA,
Okay,
uh,
sir.
but yeah, they can ask questions on project as well. So you should have some projects. So I think large or small will not matter.
Okay, sir. So, Archit has a question that is Flutter said to be a good language for Android development or should one do Java?
Yes, I mean Flutter is good choice. Kotlin is good choice. Java is good. So everything is good, right? Again, you can. So what you can do is you can simply read about all these things on Google. Like you can search like okay, Flutter versus Java versus Kotlin. So you can find better answers than because I'm not expert in Android. I'm not expert in Kotlin,
Yeah,
so I
sir.
can't answer those questions in a good way. So the best way will be you can simply search all these things on Google or on on YouTube. You will find a lot of good videos or a lot of good articles on these things.
Okay, sir. So, sir, how important is Linux for a programmer?
You should know like how Linux works, and you should know the basic amounts, because in the office you'll be working either on Mac or on Linux. So of course Mac is similar to Linux, so you should know how Linux or Unix works.
Okay, sir. So, it will be great if you can share some good project ideas for our semester or for resume.
It depends on the again on the domain, right? Let's say if you're doing something in the AIML, then you will have some other project. Let's say if you're doing something on front end, then you'll have some different project. Let's say if you're doing something on Android or something on cybersecurity. So depending on the domain, you'll have like you can have different projects ideas. So again, the best way will be searching Google, right? From Google, everything is there, and on Google you'll find better articles written by uh, the experienced developers in that domain, so they can guide you in a better way.
Okay, sir. So, sir, Tanvi has a question that I have seen students apply for software development post over other post. So, what are the requirements expected for anyone applying for this post?
Okay, so again, SD is the normal post for freshers. So if you're any company, your profile will be either so like in some companies it is SD1, in some companies it's software engineer. So in some companies it could be MTS1. Like in Adobe it's MTS1, MTS2, then in VMware
Okay,
it's
sir.
MTS. In Intuit it's MTS. So in many companies it can be MTS. So it's just a profile name, right? In some companies it can be software engineer. So yeah, the new startups are using this SD name because it sounds cool. But I would say every profile, like the name can be different, but the role will be same. Like you will have to write some code, right? So I don't think uh, the the requirement or the process is different. So so for on campus or for off campus, for any profile, for freshers, things will be same.
Okay, sir. So, sir, another question. Also, is any kind of prior experience necessary for one applying for ML or data science post asked by
Yeah,
companies?
yeah, you should have some projects uh, which is based on AIML, so that you can apply in that domain, right? So you should have some knowledge of that thing.
So, sir, being an EC student, how should one start with the programming?
See, like most of the companies will not discriminate you on the basis of your branch. So things are same for anyone. Like if you are from civil or from mechanical or from any branch, things will be same. So like C++ Java is good for CS guys, so it's good for you as well.
Okay,
So
sir.
like
So, sir, how many number of projects is sufficient in resume? Because there are almost 8 semester in our college, so we do have a project every semester.
so that's good. That's really good. Yeah, so I think normally you should have at least two projects in the resume for the full time.
Okay,
For
sir.
intern, can be one project is enough, right? So two
Okay, sir.
projects is enough.
If anyone wants to ask any other question, they can ask. Else, it is done from our side.
Yeah, I'll be there for 5 more minutes so that we can have some questions.
Yeah, sir. So, sir, how to make a good and catchy resume?
Actually, I have shared that link, and on that link the things are
Yeah, sir.
written in a good way. So I don't think I need to repeat all those things. You can simply refer that article.
So, sir, is it easy to switch domains from non-tech to technical role?
It's not easy, but yes, it's possible. So you can change. Let's say if you're in testing, then you can switch to developer, or let's say if you're working in front end, then you can move to back end. So you can switch to you can switch from any domain to any domain. Right? So these things are flexible.
So, which projects are most preferred by companies? Only software or software plus hardware, like work on Arduino?
Okay, so you can build anything on any domain, right? So you can build something on AIML, you can build something on front end, you can build something on back end, you can build something on Android. So anything is fine, right? They don't discriminate on the basis of your domain or on choice. You can build anything. So they will train you. Let's say if you're joining Adobe, let's say if you're joining a team of a team which is working on C++. So they will teach you like okay, how things work in C++. So you'll have the training period in which you'll be given the training. So they don't have any preference. But yeah, in some startups, let's say if a startup is working on IoT, or let's say if a startup is working on robotics. In that case, if you have done something on hardware, that might be helpful. But those things are only for startups.
Okay, sir. So, sir, if someone is familiar with any programming language, so how should he proceed with data structures and algorithm?
Okay. So this was the last question actually, because I'm not well, so that's why I can't take more
Yeah,
questions.
sir.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So to start ESNMG, you can simply start learning things from GeeksforGeeks website, which is free, because on that website you can find theory plus some questions to practice, and then, or you can refer some YouTube videos because on YouTube also there are a lot of good videos which are free and which are like on YouTube. Developers from Facebook and Google are teaching in free, so you can use all those things. You can use all these free resources to learn these things. And I would recommend you to learn these things in groups so that your friend can help you if you're stuck somewhere, or you should, I mean, ask your doubts to your senior so that they can help you. So yeah, so you can start learning things from Geeks and you can take help from YouTube. Let's say if you are not able to understand something on Geeks.
So, Abhishek has last question. That is internship necessary when we have made lots of projects?
No, internship is not important. The idea of internship is you should. So in internship, we build something. We build some projects, right? So you can build some project by doing some training, by doing some internship, or by learning something from YouTube, right? So the important is you should build something. You should build some project, and it could be with the help of an internship. It could be with the help of a training program, a course, or it can be by yourself, right? So everything will
Okay,
have the
sir.
same.
That was good to hear, sir. Sir, that's all from our side. If you have anything to say to our viewers, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I also enjoyed talking to you. Actually, I was not well, so I could not interact with you guys in a with a lot of energy because I'm not well.
Yeah, sir.
You can connect me on LinkedIn. So, Daksh can share my LinkedIn profile. You can ping me
Yeah,
there.
sure.
If I have missed your question, then you can ask me that question on LinkedIn. I'll I'll reply you there, right? So you can ping me
Okay,
there.
sir.
And best of luck for your future. Best of luck for your internship, for your full-time jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for giving such a nice session, and thank you for your valuable time, sir.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye, sir.